Hey, what's up? Pizowell here. Want to take a minute to be serious. If you're familiar with what I do on here with my videos, you know that I'm rarely, if ever, serious. So it's not a state that I'm used to, but kind of want to tell a story before I get into this big DVD update. When I was a kid and getting into horror, my mother tried to shield me from all the corrupting influences of the world. Among them were horror movies. So whenever we went to the video store, I was, of course, invariably drawn to the horror section. But I would have to take every box to her to get for her to peruse and make sure that it wasn't too ghastly for me, that it wouldn't scar me for life. And of course, on the blacklist was Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, all that stuff. And then one day, when I was roughly 8 years old, my stepfather came home with Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, on VHS, and for me to watch. And my mother kind of, mildly protested, but, he just said, hey, the kid wants to watch a horror movie, let him watch a horror movie. And that just swung the doors wide. I watched Part 7, I absolutely loved it, and then I just started a journey that I've been on ever since of watching horror movies and loving horror movies. My stepfather was a very cool guy, a Vietnam veteran. So, this was a guy who's seen, real horror, so, a horror movie, a movie about a guy in a hockey mask chasing around scantily clad, campers was a joke to him, really. He'd been everywhere, he'd done everything, he had a million stories, he'd been all over the world, he'd seen and done lots of, just really out there stuff. He had a million different stories. He was a true raconteur. Everybody loved him. All my friends loved him. He was just, in 5 minutes of meeting him, you were his best friend. He passed away. So, just want to dedicate this big DVD update to him. So, this is for Dan. First off, I haven't done a video in a long time. I haven't done a DVD update in an even longer time. It got to a point, I think it gets to a point in every DVD collector's life where they just sort of sit back and go, what else is there to buy? And I kind of got to that point, and I was looking at, wish lists that I'd compiled on half.com and here and there, and none of the DVDs are really, jumping off the page to me. So for a while, I just didn't buy any DVDs. Then for a while I just couldn't stay away from Big Lots, and I just bought and bought Big Lots. So this is going to be from Big Lots. So this is going to be a multi-part video, but I'm going to start with some DVDs that I picked up at Big Lots. Let's see. First is a film called Bad Influence, directed by Curtis Hanson, who went on to direct L.A. Confidential. It stars James Spader and Rob Lowe. Saw this film several years ago on VHS. Really enjoyed it. Thought it was pretty cool. I'm a huge James Spader fan, so he can do no wrong in my book. Haven't had a chance to watch it yet to get reacquainted with it, but I remember it being pretty cool, so picked it up, $3. A Stranger is Watching. This is a Sean S. Cunningham film. This was a film he directed after Friday the 13th. Not a bad kind of thriller type film based on a best-selling novel by Mary Higgins Clark. But it's charactery. It's kind of a slow burn. It's okay. It's mostly passable. If you put this movie side by side with Friday the 13th, you definitely think two different people directed them. The movie looks really good. It looks really professional. It's just not that great. Dogma, Kevin Smith film, one of my favorite Kevin Smith films. I've seen this movie several times. I've liked it every time I've seen it. So, $3. About Schmidt, starring Jack Nicholson. A movie I've always enjoyed. Jack Nicholson gives a very good performance in it. Kathy Bates appears nude in the film, which, woo baby, let me tell you. Get out the Kleenex. He Knows You're Alone. I've seen this film before. This was, of course, an early film of Tom Hanks. I think this might be his first film, as a matter of fact. I remember it being boring and bad, but it was $3. It was new at Big Lots, so I grabbed it. Let's see. The Return, starring Sarah Michelle Gellar. Why I bought this, I have no idea. I guess I was missing Sarah Michelle Gellar. I don't know. Americanized version of a Japanese horror movie. It's not a bad movie. It's just painfully mediocre, and completely passable. Boring, predictable, tedious. Nothing you've not seen before. Totally passable. The Woodsman, starring Kevin Bacon, and I've wanted to do a standalone video just for this movie, because this film is very challenging. It is just a very strong film, one that you don't just sort of watch and forget. It's a haunting film. I'm thinking about doing just a standalone video and talk about this DVD, or this film, I should say, and very cool. Mothman Prophecies, 2-disc special edition. A lot of people don't like this movie for some reason. I do. I think it's very well directed by Mark Pellington. It has a cold air to it that I found kind of creepy. I just like the movie. A lot of people don't, and really don't. But I enjoy it. I think it's atmospheric, it's creepy, it's moody, it's cool. 2 discs. Lots of special features, so if you're a fan of the movie, definitely check this out. When a Stranger Calls, of course, semi-classic horror movie. The first 15 minutes of it, I should say, are classic. The rest of it is basically just a police procedural. That's pretty boring, but hey, $3, I picked it up. Cry Wolf. I had in a previous DVD update, I had mentioned that I refused to buy this. I think because it was in full screen. I picked it up anyway. It's in full screen. It was $3. What the hey? I've always had kind of a soft spot for this movie, even though it was falsely marketed as a slasher, and I went into it expecting a slasher, and it is not a slasher. I still have a soft spot for it. It's not great. If you go into it in the right mindset, you'll enjoy it. Identity, special edition. Lots of special features. Pretty cool kind of thriller, twisty, turny type stuff. I enjoyed it. I've not seen it since in its entirety since I saw it in the theater, so I'm kind of interested in seeing this movie again in its entirety. See if it holds up. Frogs. This is a movie that I just get a huge kick out of. I really enjoy it. Sam Elliott, a young Sam Elliott, a young denim-clad Sam Elliott stars in this movie. It's basically nature getting revenge on man, one of those stories. It's hilarious. Frogs everywhere, snakes everywhere, lizards everywhere. I mean, there's leeches, there's crocodile or alligators, there's birds, all of them bloodthirsty. It's just hilarious. I love it. I get a huge kick out of it. Let's see. I'm running in about 10 minutes right now. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and cut this one off. I've got a stack more of Big Lots DVDs to get to, and a bunch more, a ton of deep discount DVDs, some stuff from eBay, some stuff from Map.com. So I'll go ahead and cut this one off now, and get back to you soon. Peace.